people don't really understand how all of it works. I mean, you can understand a lot of it and read about it, and people can explain it, but if you really look at it, sometimes, put it this way, it's impressive how much these animals communicate and understand each other just from simple gestures, simple body language.
I was just about to say that. I think us as humans, we just complicate things. If we just kept it all simple, then it would be fine. But then you're in a mood, and then you don't convey the right message to the baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, for sure. But also, I mean, evolution plays a much stronger role still with lions, for instance. If you had a lion that didn't wait, never listened to what the bird was doing, then it just wouldn't survive. It would die.
That's true.
And effectively give that, 10 or 20 or 1,000 or a million generations, then you're less likely to have badly behaved lion cubs around because they would have died. So I'm sure if you brought that into the thinking, then you'd find a lot more behaved humans. We're slowly moving and basically, firstly, are they more or less difficult to recognize than leopard? That varies. I mean, leopard, now that we're looking at a lot of leopard in this area, it's probably a bit easier than lions, but if we get to see this pride often enough, if we get to see them as often as we see Karula, we'll get to know them. We'll start recognizing each individual and be able to name most of them. I mean, again, you've got 16 lions, so it might be a little bit hard to name and recognize each individual, but certainly we'll start recognizing characters both from the adults and the youngsters and get to know them in that way. But we need to see them more often first. Straggler coming. Let's just go a little forward. Sorry, Lucia. Maybe after you suddenly, please.
Can I have that top, please?
Hey?
Can I have that top?
Yeah, can we wait 2 minutes? Into the northern area, so the last view on the road here.
Get out.
I'll be eking out the best we can do for signal here. A couple of meters this way and that way, and I'll manage to show you this again. Hopefully sound holds. There's 3 lionesses on the road joined by some cubs now. I'm sure the rest of the cubs will join shortly. A little bit of bonding there. Hey mum. Tony was just asking about the optimum size of predators and how strongly that's linked to prey numbers or resources, if you want. It's got a long discussion actually, but pride size, I mean, for a lioness to be solitary is not actually such a bad thing necessarily. It means that if one lioness makes the effort to hunt, and even though she'll be successful less often, when she kills an impala, then you've got an impala, which is a lot of food for a lioness. Whereas if you're 6 or 7, 8 lionesses, you'll be successful more often hunting, but you're going to share it with 5 or 6 lionesses, and possibly with 5 or 6 or 10 or 20 or 30 cubs, depending on the pride. So there's a lot to be said for what works and what doesn't. I mean, prides can go much larger than this. You can go 10, 15 lionesses with cubs. You can get prides into the 30s and 40s. Just look at that.
Hey, everyone just comes and says hello.
Everyone just
hey
saying,
mom or hey auntie.
Yeah, very, very closely.
Brilliant.
There's a bit of a teeth showing. Doesn't want too much attention. That's
there
classic.
we go.
Beautiful. The rest of them all heading down the road as well. Stunning view.
Mm.
But Tony, the benefit for larger numbers and prides, partly the ability to take larger prey. In other words, if you're 5 lionesses, you can take down a buffalo. Buffalo might weigh, let's say, 600 kilograms or 700 kilograms. But then again, if you want 1 lioness, you could take down a kudu that weighs 200 kilograms or more. So again, that benefit is there, but it's not all-encompassing. So it's not that strong that lions are going to decide, well, we're never going to be solitary, or we're never going to be in smaller groups, we're only going to be in big groups. Another benefit in the pride, and this is a big one, is that once you take down larger prey, you can hold on to that prey. In other words, if you were 2 lionesses and you killed a big kudu, but 10 hyenas arrived and started stealing your food, you wouldn't be able to do much. But if you're 5 or 6 or 7 lionesses, you can protect that food and retain the possibility of that resource. So there's a lot of different reasons why the larger numbers work. And to an extent, larger pride numbers, it's got to do with larger prey species that they can hunt, but it's also got to do with your second competition. It's a little bit like, if you've got multiple parties in the country's politics, if you're the winning party, it's all good, but you're only winning as long as the party that's second aren't taking over. And it's the same with these guys. If the lions started all operating in smaller groups, it might benefit the individual lion for a while, but quite soon the hyenas would be able to take over to a large extent. So there's a certain competitive benefit as well amongst predators to be in larger numbers in the case of lions. So there's sort of different multiple tiers that influence that. Now we can't follow them any further. I don't know if you can even see that down the road.
No, I can't focus well. No.
Hey?
I can't focus with this camera very well at such a distance.
Have you got a picture though? Can't see anything.
I did have a minute ago.
Yeah. Well, the lines have gone too far. If we go further now, we'll lose picture altogether, and they've also headed down. Actually, if Sydney was in camp, they'd be walking past his bedroom window. Maybe if someone doesn't mind, if you're friends with Sydney Frankel on Facebook, quickly send him a message and tell him 16 lions are walking past his bedroom window in his camp. We'll have a chuckle about that. Tell him Peter Leesh and Sowers it as well, if you don't mind.